Buckeyes gave us a big win. We'll talk about it here shortly. Coming up next. Man, I love a Buckeye win. Coming on here talking after a Buckeye dominant win, it makes life better for all of us, Dustin. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you, my friend?
When you're a resident of Columbus, you kind of like live and die off of the success of the Buckeyes. And when you get a good win like that against a top 5 opponent, it makes life a little easier around here. So I'm having a good time.
No doubt. No doubt. It's a nice week. Hey, listen, for my family, this is a big one because my
y'all
brother played at Penn State. Yeah. So it's so funny though. Like, it's not like my brother and I talk a lot of crap to each other about the game, but like he was there, he went to the game, and unfortunately had a tough ride back to Northeast Ohio.
Well, let's talk about this because do you think it's more so what the Buckeyes did, or do you think it's more so what Penn State didn't do offensively?
Boy, I don't know, man. I think that these games are so tough to, be critical of, and also wonder like what could have, like, when you go into a game, you sort of think it's going to go a certain way, but like this is an old school Big Ten, two awesome teams, heavyweights going at it, and so in those types of matchups, like I don't think you're looking for style points. I really don't. I think you're just looking to find a way to win the game, and I think at the end of the day, that's why you saw that great embrace of Chip and Ryan after the game. It's like it's really hard to win a top 5 matchup, certainly on the road, no less.
Well, I mean, yeah, it started off obviously with the pick 6. I truly think that a lot of people blame Will. A lot of people blame Will for that. But I swear, I promise you, when I look at it like the DB just made a really good play. I mean, they thought, I guess Will thought they was in man. They were really in zone. So I guess that's a great disguise by them. But the guy's reading 2 to 1. He's looking at he's going vertical with number 2. And then once he sees 1 come underneath, he puts his foot in the ground and he gets up the field and catches a pick. So to me, it's not necessarily about Will making a bad throw. Like a lot of people criticizing him saying, he in big games, he turns the ball over, which that's fair because he has. But that pick one, to me, that's more of the fact that one, it was a timing thing. That's one of the ones where he catch it and he just throwing it on time. Like that's, to me, is what it comes off as. If he's got to be a little bit better with like, okay, this dude's driving this, so let me not throw that, which I can hear that. The fumble in the red zone.
Oh yeah,
that one is inexcusable. He's like in this situation, he's gotta protect that football. I mean, nowadays everybody punches and rips at the ball, so you gotta literally tuck that thing and just go all the way down with it. So the fact that he was able to let them get that out, that one is inexcusable. However, what I liked about him the most is he bounced back. Even after the pick 6, he admitted, listening to some sound after the game, he admitted that, his emotions did get the best of him, because it was such a big game for him. He always wanted to go there and to try to win in that game or play that team at home. His emotions got the best of him. So it was nice to see him settle down and, get some throws in there. But to me, that defense –
yeah, well, the stop at the goal line was so crucial there, at the end of the game. There was like a lot of things that I liked about what Ohio State did. I thought their situational football was really good, not just the stop, in the 4th and goal, but like also the ensuing drive. When you've got – how much time was left in the game? 3 minutes or something?
No, it was like 5. When they got the ball back, it was like 5 minutes.
So you're going in that 4-minute and you're trying to play keep away, and they did, obviously just enough. I thought that was a really nice game plan, and the way that they handled and executed, I thought was excellent.
Yeah, I mean, that defense, the 2 red zone, the first one before halftime, the
red zone defense has been good. Yeah, it was good, really good in this game.
IGB was like, first of all, I can't believe he did that. I mean, that's a guy that just continued to fight for the ball. It's crazy how going into the season, you looked at Denzel being the number 1 corner, IGB being the number 2, and ever since that Oregon game is flipped. Now they travel, IGB flip sides, and now he's on that side the majority of the time. It's interesting to me, and I'd be actually intrigued to see what happens, when they go up against, Oregon in the Big Ten championship, saying that they do make it there, which at this point I believe they should. Looking around the Big Ten, though, man, you obviously the CFP rankings came out. We got 4 teams right now that's currently in right now. We got Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, and Indiana. Do you think those? Well, obviously, those 4 to me is right. Do you think we get 4 in by the time when it's all said and done?
4, I think 4 will be tough. I think for sure you'll get 3 in.
Who do you think? Which one don't you think make it?
I mean, I feel like Penn State.
You don't think they're gonna make it? You think they're gonna lose another game?
I'm gonna double check their
I'm about to say, let me look at their schedule. Right?
Before I make some crazy declaration, let me just.
I think they got Washington this week, right? Yeah, they got Washington this week. Washington, Purdue, the Minnesota be tough, and Maryland.
Maryland, yeah. So, Washington will be a tough one, but it's at home.
The Minnesota in Minnesota, the one for me. That's because they clicking on all.
Yeah. I mean, the Big Ten better than I. You're doing it every week, so I would rely on your expertise there. Certainly with teams that I'm not watching every week, but yeah, I do think that the Washington game will be tough for Penn State. But here's the thing, man, is I have no idea. I know that Indiana is a really good team.
Yeah,
but I don't know if they're a great team. And I also don't know how they will fare against – I mean, they've got to play – and again, Michigan's not Michigan. But Indiana is hosting Michigan this week as a 14-point favorite.
Yeah.
And then they play Ohio State on the road. So, they're going to beat Michigan. I have no doubt.
Right now, Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite in that game.
Yeah, and I'm not getting ahead of ourselves yet, but I think that'll be a touchdown game in the 4th. And if you're taking Ohio State to lay the points, you'll be hoping that they get a late field goal. That's how I think that game's going to go. We'll talk about that next week.
The Indiana thing. Well, first of all, that game is in 2 weeks because next week they play Ohio State.
2 weeks.
Play Northwestern next week at Wrigley. But yeah, Indiana. A lot of people. I know what that feeling's like. It's like because it's Indiana. And when you look at their schedule, they haven't really played that team yet. And to me, it's about the trench play. As you know, this thing comes down to the trench play. It's like to me. Back when Luke Fickell was at Cincinnati, Cincinnati when they was winning a lot of games, and then they got to the CFP, and they lost to Georgia. I think they lost. Yeah, did they make the CFP? Whatever they ended up playing Georgia. It might have been in a bowl game, and Georgia ended up beating them because they dominated them in the trenches. And to me, that's just what it is when I look at Indiana. Can they fare that? But we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. Back to Ohio State, who do you think actually can beat Ohio State? Do you think that they are the best team in the country, even though they're ranked number 2?
I mean, I think that they're the most talented team, and they went toe to toe with the number 1 team in Oregon. Mm-hmm. But I still don't know who's really good. And I watch these top. Well, because Oregon and Ohio State, we know they're really good.
Yeah.
I don't know how good Georgia is.
Yeah, because they just struggled against.
I'm still not. I don't know how good Miami is. I know that
they haven't played anybody.
I know Cam Ward is awesome.
I agree.
They gave up a touchdown every drive to Duke, it seemed like, this past weekend. And we're losing late in the game. So I don't, and I like Duke. I think Duke's a good team, but I don't know how good Miami is. I think Texas is good, but we saw what happened against Georgia. I don't know what's going on with Ewers. Indiana will find out about. I thought coming into the season that Tennessee was my dark horse to win a national title this year because I love their quarterback. Notre Dame lost to NIU, but they're hot right now. BYU's going to be 12-0. They're going to run the table. I don't know how good they are because they don't play anybody.
So you're a fan of the 12 team then because it's wide open, is what you're saying.
Exactly. That's my point. It's not a year where it's like a dominant Alabama, and regardless of who gets into the final championship, they're going to be a huge underdog. Like this year is not that year. If Oregon and Ohio State played again for a natty, the spread would be 3 points.
I doubt that'd be. Oh, it's crazy to think that they might play 3 times in the season.
That's a lot.
Because they played already.
However, it happens in the NFL all the time.
That's true, but it's just crazy to think 2 times, okay, but 3 times in 1 year. That's insane. And I was sitting there looking at the bracket thing, thinking wow, they could potentially play again. That'll be interesting. But yeah, I mean, I look around, and to me, Oregon got things figured out right now. They definitely the hottest team in the game right now with just some of the stuff they do. I compare them to like Kansas City back when I was playing. Like you could see it on tape, but until you actually on the field, it's different. It blows your mind at the speed and just some of the stuff that they do. And that's kind of how I look at Oregon right now. And the good news about Ohio State, if they play them again, which I'm anticipating to be the Big Ten championship, bearing some change. I think that Ohio State playing them already and seeing it, they'll be ready for it the next time. So I actually like Ohio State's chances against them when they play for a second time. All right, now let's nip that in the bud. Let's move on to this week, because this week it's a little snooze fest for a lot of people, but you and I have different relationships or different experiences with Purdue. Purdue is one of those teams that right now they're 1-7. They are not that good. The quarterback is okay. He's coming off of injury. He played last week. They had like 260 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Nothing crazy. They lost in overtime to Northwestern, so it's not nothing there. The running back Devin Maccabee, when he was a freshman,
he's been there. Yeah, he was number 45, right?
Yeah, he was great as a freshman, but now he's he's regressed a lot. I think their best offensive weapon is Max Clare, the tight end. He's had
tight end, yeah.
He's like some people got him slotted as like the 3rd best tight end in the conference behind.
He's got 30 catches.
Yeah, behind Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland from the Wolverines. Max Clare is right up in that area. So obviously, I like the defense because they came off of a game where they had to completely shut down a tight end, and they did a really good job with that. It's not a lot defensively. I mean, with Ryan Walters being a defensive head coach, like they are struggling.
Yeah, man. Like I actually 2 years ago did Purdue in Illinois, and that was when Walters was at Illinois, right?
Yeah, the DC. Yeah.
Yeah, DC at Illinois. Second year at Purdue. But I mean, my reason I say that is their defense was unbelievable at Illinois.
Yeah.
And that's what he parlayed his DC job into this one. But like, man, that Purdue job is a really tough gig right now.
Yeah.
Who's going to get him out of it? I mean, you need a Signetti. And maybe their coach there, gets it done. I liked him actually.
They did well in the portal this year. They got some dudes out the portal. They ended up getting a bunch
on paper.
Yeah, on paper. Yes. They ended up getting like a bunch of Georgia guys. They had like a corner. They got like one of the top corners out of the portal. They got some D linemen, but they really went offensive line heavy because they thought last year, the offensive line was very weak. And I wouldn't say that that's an issue for them. I just don't think they got the playmakers. I really don't. That's, to me, is the biggest issue. But they've been like, even when they played Illinois, they went into a shootout and sent the thing into like overtime, and Illinois had to win it in like by the skin of their teeth.
And wasn't Illinois up like 3 touchdowns early in the game?
They figured it out in the second half or something like that. So like like I said, I played Purdue. obviously I had the Purdue, the Kenny Guyton game, they call it. We was playing Purdue, and they weren't nothing special. It was 2013, 2012, 2013, one of those two, where they came to the shoe, and they had some good plays. Like, they schemed us up pretty good, and they ended up getting some explosive plays, and Braxton ends up getting hurt, and Kenny has to come in and go do a game-winning touchdown. Actually, did it go into OT? They did something. Kenny had to throw a game-winning touchdown. Yeah, it was. So Purdue, you can never take
2012.
You can never take Purdue lightly. Like, it's just weird things happen when you play Purdue, and that's why a lot of people don't like playing them, because you'll look at them, you'll have that mindset during the week, like, we about to just go out here and just roll them. I'm gonna be done by halftime with the towel on my head, and then you'll get out there and they'll scheme you up and just figure things out. So they're 1-7, like I say. I'm nervous, but I'm not, because, like, it shouldn't be close. What's the spread on this game? You say 39?
38.
It should not be close. That's it. It shouldn't be close.
No, it should not be. I'd love to see Ohio State pull out a 55-7 type of game, because, like, Purdue, you said they did well in the portal. Okay, great. You got to put those guys together. It takes time to develop a bunch of guys from different areas. It's like a freshman class, when you've got all these new players coming in and trying to get them to buy in. Like, it's tough to do that. So I do think that they've got some players, like, probably better players than a group of 5, but they're not like Purdue's not beating Tulane. Purdue's not beating Boise State. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so what do you want to see out of the Buckeyes? Like, what do you need to see offensively or defensively that'll make you feel like, all right, they did the job that I needed them to do? Or what is something that you want them to work on in this game?
I really don't care about looking for anything specifically, and not to be like I don't care, because I do care, but it doesn't matter. Like, just go get the win and get out of this healthy, because we know that Indiana's coming up. We know that Michigan's coming up here, and I don't think Northwestern's going to be a tough matchup, but it's on the road and it's a weird venue, so that could be just an interesting game. But no, you're at home. It's a noon kickoff. Like, come out with energy. Buckeyes this year have not, it seems like, in the early games, come out with the energy that you would like. So that's one thing that I would like to see is come out, like, fast and continue to ride that throughout the game, as opposed to, like, just easing yourself in and playing down to your competition. I don't like that.
I agree with that. I tell you what, the one thing that'll ease my mind in this one is a couple of things. One, if Will Howard has no turnovers, he shouldn't have any turnovers in this game. So if he can play a clean game like that, that would be nice. That'll be great. And secondly, with them having now this new left side of the line with Carson Hinsman at guard and Donovan Jackson at tackle, just being able to run the ball. And I want to see Donovan Jackson in the one-on-one pass pro. Like, I feel like obviously he's going up against Abdul Carter last week, who that's like a top 15 pick in the draft. Like, yes, you got to help him out, but I want to see him show his versatility, by being able to, handle it on his own, and he don't need help, and you don't have to worry about sliding protection and having a tight end sit in and things like that. So I think that would ease my mind if we could get that from Donovan in this game. But to me, running the ball is key. If they run the ball successfully, and I'm talking like both running backs 100 yards, like that, to me, because I feel like in November, that's what the successful teams do. You got to be able to run the ball, like, late in the season, being able to run the ball. So I want to see Will, no turnovers, Donovan Jackson, clean, no sacks, and them run the ball. Both running backs should get about 100 yards. They do that, it's a good game to me.
Yeah, and Will Howard come out of this healthy. I know he had some runs, and he can run at times. Like, just take care of that body. It's November. We need you.
Well, they can't afford no mishaps.
Go ahead, man. I got a question for you after you're done. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What?
All right. So this could be I don't know if you can answer this because you work for Fox.
I do not work for Fox. I work for the Big
Well,
Ten.
okay. Who's the parent company here? Who's the parent company?
Fox.
Okay. All right. I work for Disney, man. I'm a cast member.
All right. What's the question?
So, all right. So the question is the big noon kickoff. I like the big noon kickoff. I, as a player, love noon kickoff.
No, it should have been a night game.
Right.
Talking about the Penn State game?
Yes.
Yeah, 1,000%. It should have been a night. But people mad about it. Like, why wouldn't Fox?
No, first off, like, I'm not mad about it because it's an advantage for Penn State.
Fox literally gets first dibs on games every week. Why would they not take that game? Like, why would you not?
Well, is it because, like, why couldn't you put Gus and Joel on a night game? And frankly, I'd call it the big noon after dark or something. Fox, like get creative with it.
I think, doesn't NBC have the night game every week?
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, NBC got the night slot.
Yeah, this is above our pay. This is above our pay.
Got the 3:30 slot. So they literally come in and they say, Fox, what game you want? Boom. Okay. CBS, what game you want? Boom. And then NBC, you get the night game. Like, that's, and then the Big Ten get whatever's left. That's just how it works.
All right. Yeah, you're smarter than I am. Disregard everything I just said.
I do agree, though.
I forgot about the NBC primetime thing.
Did you see the fans show up and boo because they wanted it to be?
So that's why I thought about it and wanted to ask you. But at least we're on the same page.
All right, what's your prediction? What you got? Do they cover the 38 you said 38.5, right?
Yeah, but it'll be close. I think they'll cover it. They'd probably win by, like, what I say, 55-7. That's a touchdown cover.
That's more than that.
48 covered by, so yeah, a 10-point cover. Yeah, that would be nice, man. A 50-point, put up a 50 burger. Give me a 50 burger and hold Purdue under 10 points. There we go. That's a cover.
I don't think they put up a 50 burger. I'm gonna say 42. That defense is gonna be serious. I'm gonna say 42-3. So they barely cover it, but they do cover 42-3.
Oh, I don't think that's a sweat. That's a sweat in the fourth quarter, man, because you'd be so worried about Purdue and that backdoor cover late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
that's what Michigan had a backdoor cover last night, man. Jeez.
After holding Penn State to no touchdowns, the defense gave up no touchdowns. They got the touchdown on the pick six. After having a game like that, there's no way you should let Purdue come out here and score a touchdown. But I will say somebody might slip and fall or something like that, and they'll get a deep play that'll get them in the territory, and they'll get a field goal. But I don't think they put the ball in the paint.
All right. Well, I'm just saying they are a Big Ten team. You said they've got some players.
Did you have a scare against Purdue? They were good when you played.
A scare. I had like almost every year we had a scare. Not my freshman year. We beat them pretty good at home, but like in 2002, my sophomore year, 10-6 we won. That's the Holy Buckeye play. I'm sure you've seen that one. Michael Jenkins.
Shout out to Mike. Yeah.
I had a pick in that game in 2002 in the end zone. Kyle Orton.
Did you keep the ball?
No, dude. I was not very smart about that back in the day. I probably handed it to the official.
It's only one. No, that's a lie.
You got the Michigan one?
Yes, I do. I got that one in the Alabama one. I kept them.
You saved me some money on that game, bro.
You took somebody bet you the Wolverine.
Oh, I mean, no, yeah. When at the time, yes, and your pick was pretty awesome.
Well,
thank you for that.
I'm glad that I could help you out. You know, that's what I looked
at. The bank account.
All right, y'all. That'll do it for us. We'll catch y'all next week. Make sure y'all leave y'all score predictions in the comment section. Let me know if y'all cover 42-3. Dustin's got 50 burger to what?
55-7. 55-7.
We'll see next week. All right, y'all. Peace.
Later.